Hello there! Thanks for landing on our Google training landing page. If you've reached this page, you're probably considering coming on our training courses for either Google Analytics or for Google AdWords. So the video here is just really to introduce you, before you arrive, to me, Matt, and my colleague Sharron.
Hi, I'm Sharron. I do the AdWords training as well in parallel with the Google Analytics.
And she also does a fair bit of the analytics training, but I'm mainly the person that does the analytics training. So you'll probably be meeting me if you're on analytics and Sharron if you're on AdWords. We put the video together really just to show you, there's 8 days of training in total, so it's important you make the right decision about which day to attend, and if you're going to attend them over a course of time, then how you should do them, the order and so forth, and give you a little bit of flavour about what you'll actually be learning on the training courses. So
you've got 4 days Google Analytics training in total. So what happens on day one, and is there anything people need to have done in advance ready for their first day?
Yeah, so day one, pretty much the beginning. What we kind of suggest is that people really come along with a tagged account. So meaning they put Google Analytics on their site, they have an account, they can log in, they can start seeing their data. Very useful that you see your own data. Some people are planning to put Google Analytics on, so they might come, and if they do that, we can give them access to a test account if need be. But we really do advise you come along with your own, with your own data. And then we really go right from the beginning. So we really start with, how Google Analytics works, starts defining all the things like visits, visitors, bounce rate, page views, really start understanding that.
Familiarity with the metrics. Really.
Exactly, just the fundamentals, really understanding those things. Start talking about very important concepts as Unitary Goals, just starting to understand, how we're going to measure success on our website. It's very, very important. It's been described day one as a really good tour of the interface. So we take people through everything, understanding, so that they can get data out and start analysing it. That's the really critical thing. Good for beginners, good even for experienced people. We get a lot of good feedback from people who have been in analytics for years, very experienced with Google Analytics, because they feel it cements their knowledge and just helps them understand maybe more formally what they've learned informally. So that's good. And then so the other days as well that we carry on after day one as well.
Yeah. So once people have got that kind of fundamental basic knowledge from day one, how does that then develop over the following days?
Yeah, so day two we really start trying to understand our installation a bit more, make sure that the data quality is sound, and then we make steps to improve the data quality, so by filtering, through cleaning up our profiles, having duplicate profiles, good practice methods really. And then we start doing some more complex goal configuration, which is pretty much most relevant for all sites really. We need to be able to track anything, and so we show people the technology that Google Analytics has to do that. And then we really move on to really some quite advanced analysis techniques, looking again in bounce rate because it's such an important metric, looking at that in detail. And this is where we also start looking at how we can improve our site through content experiments, which effectively is A/B testing. So very important, as you know, again Sharron, you've used this a lot, and so have I, where we have a page that we show to visitors, we show another page to visitors, and we see, does one of those pages improve conversion rate?
How do people interact with the content?
Exactly, yeah, really great for, again, any type of site really that has a really good objective, really good goals.
So do people come away with kind of an action plan at the end of these days, in terms of kind of a series of steps that they can follow through to sort their own data out?
I think,
best use of it?
Yeah, exactly, and I think what we've seen is that people get frustrated when they come on training, where they come away, they learn a lot, and they don't have a clear action plan. So we tried during all the days, and I know you do as well, we try and have an action plan where we take little nuggets of every section to say, well, this is something you should go away to the office and do. So you get a little action plan, exactly, yeah.
And then what about the last day of the training, day 4?
Yeah, well, day 3 is the one that we've missed, of course. So day 3 is really probably useful for someone who's a bit more into SEO, a bit more into paid search, a bit more into social media, and to top that off is kind of multi-channel funnels. So quite an in-depth day for people that are really wanting to know all the data in analytics about SEO, paid search, social media.
And how those interact with each other.
Exactly, yeah. And kind of multi-channel funnels, looking at attribution models, quite complex, but these days increasingly important. So that's day 3. And then the final day, as you mentioned, is much more technical. It's the technical day, probably the people that are implementing Google Analytics, or people who have a big role to play in analytics per se. So they need to know all the necessary technical components of Google Analytics, how to tag it properly, all the different options. And we also, I'm glad to say, we also cover Google Tag Manager, which is really
fairly new to the market.
Fairly new to the market, October 1st, 2012. So we're covering Google Tag Manager, just showing you how to use that, how to deploy that. Can be a great technology for removing some of the IT work from Google Analytics and bringing it into marketing. And I have to say, I think our course is the most advanced course out there at the moment in terms of it's really up to date, it's fresh, it's benefits from our visit to California in October, where we learned everything that Google was doing, and publicly they shared a lot of stuff as well, including things like universal analytics and the measurement protocol, fundamentally changing the way analytics will work. We're touching on that on all 4 days. So we talk a little bit on day 1, and then we go quite deep on it on the final day. So,
and that's something we do throughout the whole period that we're training. We're always kind of evolving and updating the courses as new features, new developments.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough job, isn't it? Because we do try. We want to keep
keeps us on our toes.
Keeps us on our toes. We want people to have the very best information, and we feel that we constantly strive to update that and put in little nuggets, even if it's informally in the course. One of the things I enjoy, and I think we both enjoy, is we learn so much from the attendees, because it's real life scenarios that we share. Brilliant stories with us. Different use cases and things that we've not heard of, we put in because we think they're beneficial. So keep on coming, guys. We love hearing your ideas. Sharron, probably enough about analytics now. Let's talk about AdWords. Again, 4 days. Slightly unusual structure because you do the advanced stuff on the first 2 days.
You do.
And you do the basic stuff on the last 2 days. And that's not a mistake. It's literally so that you could attend day 1 and 2 of analytics, and then attend day 1 and 2 of AdWords.
You've got a good grounding in both.
So it's not a mistake what we do that. There is method in our madness.
And really, it would be just too much to go from absolutely starting with Google AdWords all the way through to the advanced in one go.
In 4 days,
It's too much. You need to do the first couple of days basics,
get some
become
experience,
familiar with the product, use it, get some data, let that kind of develop an understanding, and then you can learn some of the advanced techniques to kind of move that forward. So
And Google AdWords 101, 201, the two basic courses, the great thing is that they leave with a configured AdWords account, don't they?
That's right. I mean, some people already have an AdWords account, some people have inherited one and they kind of don't know what to do with it, don't touch it. Other people haven't got an account at all, so that's fine. We start absolutely the basics, create an AdWords account if people haven't already got one. And then it's a very safe environment in which they can kind of create campaigns and test things out, etc., without messing up any kind of main company accounts that might already exist.
And if you've got an AdWords account, people often find, within a few hours of attending a training, they find out areas where they've been spending money. Wasting money.
Yeah, we've had some examples where once people have understood some of the settings and what it means, they've realised when they've been able to kind of segment and analyse the data that thousands was just being spent and wasted in an area that wasn't converting for them. Whereas the area that was working could have run with more money if it had been allowed to.
And produce more results.
Instant saving as soon as they start to understand those kinds of things.
So that's really good. So again, the action plan is almost really taking away an AdWords account that's ready to start generating traffic to your site.
Exactly. That's what we have at the end of day 1.
Okay.
We have a small working AdWords account with a couple of campaigns, but you then know how to go on and develop that.
Day 2 of AdWords, not the advanced stuff, but day 2,
kind of the introductory 2 days, so to speak. Yeah, well, that's just taking it to the next level. So by then, people are becoming familiar with the interface because it's quite a complex interface to get to grips with. So now people are more familiar. We start to look at some of the advanced techniques as how they can identify keywords to trigger their traffic.
Okay.
And we also start to explore the Google Display Network.
Which can complement the search campaign.
Very much so. It kind of just gets people up to a different point in the buying process, the buying cycle. And there have been kind of huge developments in the area of the display network over the last 12 months with Google. So you can really start to kind of target quite niche areas within that once you know how to do it. It's just a matter of understanding what the
and it uplifts the search campaign, doesn't it, in terms of ROI?
You often find increased traffic on your brand as a result of running display campaigns. So again, you can see that once you understand and you can know where to look for the data and the results. You can see that kind of knock-on effect.
So fundamentals then, those 2 days, which is 101 and 201 effectively. And then the next 2 days, which you would in theory do after you've done the 2 days, you come back with some experience, and if you wanted to go further.
2 months later. So by then we kind of assume that you're very familiar with the interface, you understand all the metrics and the data you've got there. But we're taking it really to the next level. So we're starting to introduce some of the advanced optimization techniques that there are, so the different settings there are that can control what happens behind the scenes. We also start to look at the display network in more detail, so that particularly covers things like remarketing.
Remarketing, I was going to say, I mean, it's really big, isn't it? Big strategy of Google, remarketing.
Very successful campaigns of remarketing if they're done correctly. Again, don't do it in a blasting form.
Don't like haunt your users, but do it in a clever way.
The different groups of users and how you get the right message to them.
And you cover, because we now know that obviously you can do remarketing within Google Analytics, so you can build segments within Analytics for AdWords remarketing.
Very much. So we cover both sides of that. We cover how to do remarketing purely from within AdWords for any people that haven't got Google Analytics implemented. Not that that's something we would particularly recommend, but we also cover how you do it from Google Analytics, where there's a lot more options as to how you can define
sophisticated options for remarketing. And we cover that as well in day 3 of our course, just if you're on Google Analytics, so if you wanted. So there's a little bit of an overlap there, which is an important bit of overlap, just from which area you're coming from, really. And then the last day of the advanced training, what have you got in store for people there?
Well, again, it's looking at it's making sure you're aligning everything with the goals that you have, conversions or ROI, and how you can use those to explore some of the better.
So again, a little bit of bringing in analytics there to measure success.
We're bringing in various reports, looking at some of the key reports in Google Analytics that can help you understand and manage your AdWords campaigns better. We make sure that everything that's done to make the two products work together is all set up as it should be. You've got the right data in the right places. And we also look at some of the testing techniques, so there are testing tools within AdWords. So
like A/B testing, that sort of thing?
That sort of thing, but you can actually test big changes in things. So
and see the effect of those,
A campaign experiments tool within AdWords, so we look at different ways you can use that to continually refine and develop and improve the campaigns.
So, so we think we've got the best, we would say that, but we do think we have the best training courses available.
And the two just complement each other, the way you go through from the topic.
And we work very hard on them. We have really great reviews. I mean, do check out our reviews before you book, because people do like when they attend, and they say lots of positive things about it. And we work very hard on, as I say, keeping the agenda fresh, keeping it relevant. And the courses are very interactive as well. We don't just sit there and listen to us all day.
Very hands-on, a long time.
And we get bored, don't we, if people don't ask us questions. So don't come on here and be quiet. Do come on, ask questions. They're long days. They 9:30 start till 5 o'clock. 9 o'clock, get here for 9. And really, the best pricing is available when you book 30 days in advance. And you get
some good combo deals.
Good combo deals. Check out these combo deals, guys, because we give generally 25% off if you book 30 days in advance and book more than 2 days. And then if you found this page in a hurry and you want to attend next week, if there's one or something, then again, there's usually some good deals to be had, but not quite as good as the early bird, as we call it. So those are the things, and I think that's all we have to say, Sharron. We probably, if you've stayed to the end of this video, then well done, fantastic.
Just explore on the page. Kind of just above or below,
just
links of all the...
You should book now if you want to, that's our call to action.
But there's the full course content for each day, so people can just see
a lot of
exactly
detail
what's
there.
covered on every day to make sure you get the right days for you.
Yeah, exactly. We go to great lengths to have a very detailed agenda which we stick to, and we really do hope to see you soon on one of our courses in London, in Manchester or in Dallas, and possibly some more dates next year in the US. And we look forward to welcoming you and learning together. So thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.